Usamos estampillas.
You are now tuned in to your number one radio station.
Violent people.
Radio.
I'm Sam. Hey there, folks. Welcome to the very first episode of Violent People Radio. I am one of the founders of Violent People, Sam Damasio. With me, we also have founder Dan Rice.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Is it weird to call everyone a founder as we do this? Yes, absolutely. Founder Tanner.
Hi, everyone.
And founder Chris.
What's up?
The
Shouldn't we
founders.
co-founder?
We can all be co-founders if you would rather that. I like to think we're
Well,
all
I mean,
founders.
I don't think we can all.
So we
Okay.
all Tanner, when you approached this, you were like, I don't want any of us to be. I don't want one person to be a host and others to be a co-host. I want us all to be hosts. That's what you said.
Maybe I should have said I wanted all of us to be co-host.
You should have, but we've already crossed this bridge. We're already in the episode, Tanner. We've crossed the line. TNA
Is the NBA
crossed
draft
the line.
Is the NBA draft talk making it into the episode?
Like, how long can we talk about the Detroit Pistons being a bad basketball franchise?
How long do you got?
Not that long. Not that long. Fifth overall.
Yeah, Sam has a hard out at 7:30.
I'm going to go back in time.
Well, I can definitely talk about it for 11 more minutes.
Oh, man. So, we really did. Wow. We were talked about a lot of things before this episode began. The Detroit Pistons, Tanner boozing up before the show. Really being a true
I didn't booze up for the show.
Oh, my apology. When did you start drinking?
4:00.
Okay. It is.
But it wasn't for the show.
You could see how I could get the impressions for the show. It's
I mean,
for
I
us.
can't do this on a weekly basis. Is what I'm saying.
This is the first. You got to really go out hard on number one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull a Chris and start buying Zins again.
Chris, you zinning it up?
I'm zenning up right now. I'm zenned to the gills.
What's your MGs? That's milligrams for all the adults out there.
I'm doing a 6er right now.
Whoa, what flavor?
Cool mint.
Okay. I'm more of a wintergreen spearmint guy. 3 MGs. Can't do 6. Makes me want to puke.
You want to puke. Dan, you zinning it up tonight?
I went straight to cocaine.
Oh,
See,
I
okay,
don't have a lot of time. Yeah,
I have mine set aside for next week.
that's smart. We can't all do cocaine in the same episode.
Yeah. Well, I was also under the impression we're recording 3 of these back to back, kind of like a marathon recording situation.
I have the next 24 hours blocked off for this.
Yeah. Same. I took tomorrow off of work.
I should have.
I didn't. I'm just going to record from the coffee shop.
Oh, that's great.
You work at a coffee shop?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That sounds terrible. Hate it.
That's pretty cool.
Jeez.
My
Do
wife.
you work in a bar too? I don't know why I thought you worked in a bar.
No, I do not.
Oh, I guess I made that up.
Wow, we've created Chris lore, none of it being true. And all of
Hey,
it
Chris, I knew where you worked.
Thank you, Tanner.
you
No
did
problem. I knew where you worked before the coffee shop.
Are
At
you gonna
the other
just-
coffee shop?
Yeah.
You're going to start doxing Chris left, right, and
I
center.
say I know your address. 1, 2, 4.
Let me get your social security number real quick. That Super slick.
Tanner has had one of my addresses, not my current one.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think.
Did he say he was going to send a Christmas card and didn't? Is that what happened?
No, I sent Chris one.
Yes.
Okay,
no, bullshit, I sent Chris one.
You did not send me a Christmas card.
Bullshit! I sent everybody Christmas cards that year.
Tanner just sent a whole bunch of envelopes into the mail, nothing written on them, and was just hoping they'd get to where they needed to be.
Dude, did you forget stamps?
No! Simon gives me the same shit. I'm trying to sit. I don't know what it is about the fucking Midwest that can't handle basic fucking mail, that can't deliver it. Hold on. Now, is Wisconsin in the Midwest?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know what it is.
Yes.
I don't know what it is about the Midwest. Well, first of all, okay, whatever. That can't handle mail, but all of you that live in the... Sam, you've got a Christmas card from me before.
No, never. Not once.
Explain to me how Garrett fucking Kidney in Ireland gets my Christmas cards and nobody in the continental fucking U.S. got them. I know people in the U.S. got them.
Tanner, I don't know anyone that has received your Christmas card, personally. Who's to say it's ever happened?
Well, here's my promise. On the first episode of Violent People Radio, hold me to this. Everybody in this call right now is getting a fucking family photo Christmas card.
I asked Sam for his address to send him a Christmas card, didn't send him one, and then he moved. They seem connected.
I had Sam's address because I was going to go to Sam's wedding and I was too poor to fly out there.
Oh. Rip.
You know, them's the breaks.
Could have taken like the 13-hour drive or whatever.
Yeah, he wasn't dedicated enough. He didn't think
we
were
also,
close
did you hear the poor? I couldn't afford gas, Dan. I was a senior in college. What money did you think I had coming in? I was making $7.25 at my job as a senior in college.
Tanner, what brings us here today?
Well, I guess about 10 years ago, Sam saw me post on Wrestling Forum. Oh, you meant like this podcast today?
Yes, this one that we're on currently.
Well, I thought it would be fun if we all got together on a weekly basis and podcasted. I think, you can't really have a wrestling website without a podcast. I know what you're thinking, but Tanner, there's like 12 podcasts on violentpeople.co, the best wrestling website out there. Yes, but what would you say is, I don't know, there needs to be I think a podcast that reflects the site, and not saying like Muscle Orchestra doesn't. I mean, we're talking about very current subjects, such as doing an IWA Mid-South draft. I'm not saying things like that, but I just thought it'd be fun if we all got together on a weekly basis and just shot the shit and see what happens. Sam and I have an extensive background in podcasting together. Chris and I have been doing Muscle Orchestra for like 2 years, or like 8 episodes, however many that is.
2 years.
Dan, I've podcasted with less, but I've known Dan for years. Dan hooked me up with their fucking UFC login years ago so I could watch Pride fucking shout out.
I think I was the first guest on Wazimcast.
You were.
True.
I found those Google Docs the other day, and Dan was the first guest ever on Wazimcast, I believe June 2015, and we started in May. So it's just kind of a fun, and I've known also outside of Muscle Orchestra, I've known Chris for, it's got to be close to 10 fucking years at this point. So I just thought it'd be fun for us to get together and shoot the shit about wrestling and other stuff. Mostly wrestling.
As you can tell by opening of episode, Dan and I have done 26 episodes of Talking Tourneys, a professional wrestling podcast about wrestling tournaments, in which I have not watched a wrestling tournament in way too long. So Dan's just kind of hanging around in that world. But yeah, we thought this would be fun to do. And we thought, wow, we need, for white dudes talking about professional wrestling, we need to bring it back.
Yeah,
we need, we're hitting some uncharted territory.
Yeah, I don't know if there's ever been 4.
Shout out to
representation matters.
Denver, Colorado. Place.
No.
Rip, big guy. Rip. So.
Oh, is he dead?
I don't know how to respond to that. So we're just gonna say no. He's not dead, Tanner. He is alive.
Okay. I'm off Twitter, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I think you'll hear about it. If now from here on out, let me tell you, I'll let you know.
I get all my news from the Violent People Discord.
It would be talked about there. I'm almost positive. There might be some jokes at his expense in his death, but
I just feel like our Discord skews younger. I don't know if any of them would know who that is.
We have some old heads here.
I mean, I know we have some old heads, but vastly outnumbered by people born in 2004 that have turned my skin to ash every time I read it.
It's called the vocal minority, Tanner. You should know all about this. Anywho. Sorry.
I guess from being from an unrepresented state like Alabama in the national conference, I guess I do understand.
The national conference.
Now, you left Twitter for Truth Social. Is that true?
I guess I actually left it for Jeremy Renner's social app.
JeremyRenner.com.
Yeah, but I guess you could say Alabama is sort of like the voice of the voiceless.
All right, so what? Dan, I'm just going to hand it to you. We had a format. You had a whole call sheet. You're like, hey, here's what we're going to do on this episode.
It was 4 bullet points, but go off.
Hey, I'm sorry. I was trying to make it seem like you did a lot of work. And you're like, I actually did fucking jackal. So, congrats. But I'm still going to hand it to you anyway.
Oh, fuck. I forgot the format.
You can't.
I believe it was step 1.
Jesus Christ.
Banter. Step 2. What are you watching?
Oh, okay. Well, first I was going to ask, is there any... Well, I guess I don't have to ask. I'm fucking one of the co-founders. So what's happening on Violent People this week? As always, the lovely Dan has Rotten Rewatch going up on Thursdays. You can always read that. The amazing Koro, as always, recommended matches on Fridays. That's actually all I know that's going up this week. We have stuff that's about to go out, but I don't want to announce the thing that's about to start till next week because we have other announcements coming next week. So I figured next week is like the big announcements, like boom, boom, boom. But I don't know.
Yeah, also been a super cool week. We have had some issues with the auto posting to Twitter, which is how a lot of people receive our content in some form or fashion or realize, hey, you guys posted something. I should check that out. So probably less pieces this week overall, just while we work through that, work out solutions to that, which is honestly probably just going to be either me or Dan sending out manual tweets when those go live. A lot of just who gives a shit talk right now about this, but that's why maybe this week has been a little lighter, which is great for the debut of the Violent People Radio.
Yeah, phenomenal. And also, but I will say, starting in June, at least through the end of the summer, you'll be looking at least 4 pieces per week.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. Got some cool projects about to kick off that you, the listener, even if you don't write, can participate in. But we'll have more news on that next week. So you'll have to tune in next week.
But all right. What have you been watching? Tanner, kick us off.
Okay, so first of all, Wanna State. Have not been watching a ton.
What a great start. We don't have a ton on the site right now. We're not watching a ton. Thanks for tuning in.
I've never been colder on wrestling in my life. No, I'm just kidding. I did recently watch the Masahiro Takanashi versus Gintaro match from Choco Pro that immediately started getting like some good. And I figured, I mean, that seemed like a match on paper I would want to watch. But then people in the Discord pretty immediately was like, oh, this shit rocks. And I watched it and I can confirm that shit did rock. It's just like 15 minutes on the mat of just pure grapple fuckery, for lack of a better term.
The literal mat because it's Choco Pro.
Yeah. I mean, literal mat. There's 40 people watching the show in this little hall. I don't even know what kind
in
of
the Choco Pro apartment or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's like some little apartment, whatever. And I mean, it just fucking rocks. I mean, Takanashi's already like Gintro, yes, is underrated, but I feel like the people that know Gintro. Takanashi is a guy that I feel like is vastly underrated. And it's a guy that when he's not injured is wrestling like 400 times a year or whatever. And like, not all of it hits, but he has such a consistent floor that I don't know. Like, anytime he gets like a good opportunity to go, 10, 15, 20 minutes with somebody that's even halfway competent, like, it's going to be worth watching. And this what fucking rocked. I don't know if anybody else here has seen it, but I'd highly, highly recommend it if you have not.
Sounds like something for the sickos and the freaks out there.
It's a great match. It is like I'm not a guy who's regularly going to like check out Gato Move or Choco Pro. Like, there's some cool wrestlers I like, but it's usually just kind of not my thing. But when I saw like that match was happening there, I immediately like knew I was going to get to it. And as soon as I saw the hype on Twitter and in the Discord, like, yeah, it's everything I wanted it to be.
Yeah, it is also like Gintro's like 30th anniversary match. So maybe that's a sign. Maybe he'll, like a lot of these wrestlers in Japan do, will go on like a bit of a 30th anniversary tour. So at least maybe we'll get some more sick ass Gintro singles matches on tape between now and the end of the year.
Yeah,
like,
I would love him getting like more singles matches in Freedoms, because he's been working more tags than singles. Like, and I get it. He's recovered from a stroke in the past, so his body has been through a lot. But like, it would be really cool if you got more of the occasional Freedoms Gentro undercard singles.
Yep. I will say, I believe Mutoa is running a show in June or July. So possibility he may show up there. So I don't know. But I don't know. Just keep your eyes out. But if you haven't watched that match, it's free on fucking YouTube. You have no reason not to go watch it. I think it's Choco Pro 372 or something from the beginning of May. Absolutely go watch it. It's definitely worth your 15 minutes.
Do I gotta watch all 371 shows before that?
Yeah, actually you do. There's actually a pretty complex Choco Pro lore
is this that is drag associated situation.
Yeah, so they do their own Doi darts. They do a rock, paper, scissors tournament every show at the end. And at the end of every show, whoever wins the rock, paper, scissors tournament is the Choco Pro champ.
That seems
half of that's not a bit.
I wouldn't begin to tell which half that is.
Wow. That's for you to decide, Sam.
Oh, cool. I get to make the rules. All right, Chris, what have you been watching?
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of recent pro wrestling. Like, have you seen Larry Zbyszko and Mr. Wrestling 2 from Georgia in the 1980s?
Me? No, not this guy. Why are you doing this, Chris? This doesn't seem helpful.
It also doesn't seem like your usual, like, what you're watching.
No, I got sent that earlier today, and I watched some Georgia on recommendation. I also watched been watching some 2010s Naito, including his comeback match in 2013 at Dominion against Yujiro Takahashi, which is a nice match where Yujiro works over the knee that cost Naito quite a few months and a surgery. And this is like a year and a half before LIJ Naito, and it's like always interesting going back and seeing earlier Naito. It's a cool match to go back. But as far as like recent wrestling I've been watching, today I finally watched the Mayumi Ozaki versus Mio Momono match from Oz Academy last month. Which
I've heard nothing but great things about that match.
Was a phenomenal match. They had a great match last year, and this is the rematch in Oz Academy, Ozaki's home turf. Lots of shenanigans, obviously, with Ozaki-gun, and then you've got some baby faces helping Momono, and chains and tons of shenanigans, but they really work in the context of the match, and there's like I got like super invested in it, and like Mio Momono is a terrific babyface throughout like the previous match and this match, and there's like one specific near fall that gets a 1 count that I lost my shit for, and yeah, lots of dastardly heel antics, and I mean, I'm the kind of person that loves like overbooked heel faction shit in general. I'm a House of Torture.
Love the bloodline.
Ride or die. Oh yeah. So I really loved that match as far as recent stuff I've seen. Other than that, I'm hopefully going to watch a bunch more April Lucha in the next few days, but I haven't watched that yet, so I can't speak on it. I'll have more to say about that next week and in my column.
You sure you're
but I'm really
going to go back down that Larry Z train?
No. Actually, I might.
You might.
You should do a Lucha
about it.
You should do a Lucha Roundup, but it's just Larry Zbyszko matches.
Yeah, it's just like Lucha Roundup, but it's actually Larry Zbyszko matches from 1983.
Yeah, actually do that. Just be like, I wasn't feeling Lucha this month. Here's a bunch of wrecks from 1983.
I mean, Larry definitely had a wrestle Mil Mascaras at one point. That counts.
Does it, Dan?
They wrestle in the junkyard?
It definitely counts.
What if he wrestled in the junkyard? Larry's in the junkyard. What a sight that would have been.
Too good for this world.
We missed out on a lot of great wrestling. Junkyard, and that is extremely sad.
Who would you think, if you could pick, this isn't leading to anything, if you could pick one wrestler to ever wrestle in the junkyard, who would you have picked? Who would be like your number one all-time junkyard guy?
Larry Zbyszko.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah.
Who, by the way, I believe is still alive. It feels like maybe we're talking about him like he's dead, but I think
I said all time.
You said
Larry?
Too good for this world. I want you to know that he is in this world still.
I meant he's not wrestling in Zona 23 next week or whatever.
I don't know what he's doing. He's a free man. He can do whatever he wants. Yeah.
Oh shit, he still is alive.
Yeah, we're sure of it.
Dan was lying about this.
Retired 2015? No fucking way.
Are you familiar with pro wrestling?
Yeah, but god damn, he's so old.
And my answer is probably like obvious, but Foley.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the obvious answer, but
the obvious one.
Yeah, but my obvious answer is probably going to be Abdullah, so I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I feel like if his career went a completely different way and he got into very hard drugs that just changed him mentally, Vader would have been unbelievable.
If only.
Oh yeah.
It's a very different lifestyle he would have had to arrive at to get there. But my goodness, what a dream scenario.
Yeah, instead of the Osprey
would it have
match,
been that different? He was like tweeting his dick and stuff. Like,
you gotta put this old man brain into 30-year-old.
Vader was still wrestling in fucking real Japan like 2 months before he died. He could have went to Zona 23 then.
A rip to a guy that actually died, you know?
What does that mean?
Rip to a guy that actually died.
Yeah, I'm tired of all these people fucking fake dying out here.
We've miscategorized two people as dead on this show, Tanner. Get with it.
I haven't miscategorized anybody.
We're only 1 for 3 on pronouncing who the dead right now.
To be fair, I didn't say Larry Zbyszko was dead. I just said him and Zona 23 was too good for this world. It's not like they're fucking booking him.
You did say, holy shit, he is alive. So sorry.
Okay. Well, I also... listen, 72 isn't as old as it used to be. At the same time, pro wrestler 72 might as well be a fucking 100.
72? You better just fucking put him down. That's what Tanner's saying.
72. He's basically the same, like almost the exact same age as Black Terry.
You hearing this shit, Larry Z?
Larry Z. He should just drive on over.
I'm calling you out.
I'd give you this motherfucker's address if he sent me a Christmas card and I knew it.
Oh my God.
Actually, to be fair, I've moved since I haven't sent Christmas cards in like 4 years. But
he's asked addresses every single year, though.
You better kiss your own fucking ass. Y'all are gonna get such a wonderful Christmas card this year. It's gonna be unbelievable.
It's gonna be fucking delightful.
It's gonna fucking convert y'all
to what?
To what?
To the light of God.
Oh, that's not how you were talking before that we were recording. My pick for the junkyard is too recent, but I want Mad Dog to go down there.
Oh, well, yeah.
But all time is probably Zandig.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Zandig's a great choice. Mad Dog,
does Zandig
energy? Zandig energy in the junkyard would be insane.
I feel like we are a viral tweet away from Mad Dog going to the junkyard.
I don't think we need to do a whole lot of work here, Tanner. I think.
I don't think it would take much.
Damus has literally worked with him.
Well, Damus has worked with somebody on this fucking podcast. So what I'm saying is we just tweet Damus a picture of Sam and say, this motherfucker's calling you out. And instead of us sending Sam, we send Mad Dog.
Yeah, fly me down to the junkyard. Let me work an angle. I'll be Mad Dog second. It'll be great.
Oh my God, you can be Hee-Ho Del Mad Dog Connolly.
Sure.
I don't like this one bit. We saw what happened to Dylan. We don't want Sam going down this path.
You're just fucking out there.
No,
you're wearing the same gear.
He's fucking.
You've got a dog collar on. You're wearing a wig because I don't think you could grow your hair out like Mad Dog. No offense.
Dylan, fall from grace. That Hales guy. What
Jesus Christ.
Fucking yeah, I know. You could really shoot the shit with him before, and now he's just got to work you 24/7. Now I got people in our Discord.
Maybe you're just not.
This is the real
Maybe
old
you're just
head
not
shit.
good friends with Dylan.
This is the real old shit because we have all these fucking young people in there. They don't know Dylan was in the mud. They just know him as the good announcer guy, and that's fucked up.
That is extremely fucked up. That
especially because he's not even that good of an announcer.
Fucking get him.
No, he's fine. He's fine. But the problem is everyone sucks. So like him being fine, like he's amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
good for him. You know,
I think Dylan's a good announcer, but I do agree that
I want to mute my TV.
Yeah, and I think that's all you can ask for out of an announcer, really.
It wasn't 40 years ago.
Well, they're all dead now,
hold that shit.
They're all fucking dead.
Like Larry.
Rest in peace, Larry Zbyszko.
Dead at the ripe old age of 72.
Yeah, rest in peace, real dead Vader, according to Sam.
Yeah, what do you mean? Like, are you assuming he's not dead? What's going on? Am I covering something up?
You just said
Tanner.
About Vader, you were like, oh, well, he's real dead.
Who is the wrestler most likely to fake their own death?
Flair.
Fair. I
think that's the only answer.
Dan, what are you watching?
Done it by now.
I'm watching some stuff.
Are you watching stuff right now? Is that why you can't answer it?
Well, I've already been asked that, and then we guys started going on who would fake their own death, and I started thinking of trying to think of that girl's name. Was it Abby? Did she fake her own death and come back?
Yeah.
She wasn't a wrestler.
No, she faked
All right,
having
cancer.
cancer, Dan.
Okay,
No,
well
no, no.
that's a work.
I thought she
No,
died.
she died too.
No, yeah,
Because her sister took over the account.
Yeah, she made it all the way
she
to the
did
end.
die. Yeah.
And then the Chris guy, I think, is that
Chris
his name?
Riddle.
TNA. Yeah, he came back to life.
He came back to life and
To
said,
say this
she's
is fucked
fucking
up.
lying.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Dude,
Okay.
man.
Oh, man.
Fuck
What
yeah.
have I been watching? Okay, well, I watch a lot of stuff for the site. Like I'm watching IWA Mid-South for Muscle Orchestra and my column. And then I did a review of, I don't like talking about it because I don't pronounce anything right, but Rick's Catch, the French indie promotion. And I watched episode 20 and I reviewed it as our Backlash review. And I haven't watched anything since episode 15, I think. And every time I watch it, I love it. So I went back and I've caught up completely. And they're like, they have one show a month and they put it on YouTube and it's always fun. Scar's awesome. Jack Sans Nam is really good. In episode 16, he uses a flamethrower.
Hell yeah.
More people should be watching it. Yeah,
You're really talking me into this.
it's great, and it's once a month. The only problem is I'm just too forgetful. So like once a month, by the time next month roll around, I'll forget to watch it, but I'll catch back up, and it's always good. I watched Evolve 1, and
What the fuck?
Hell yeah.
I can't say why, but that show took place January 16, 2010.
Is Gabe
And-
back?
Tell you what, it's a good show.
Yeah,
It's a good show. Nothing.
Evolve 1
Only one match is over 12 minutes long,
Ah,
and it just
Boy, lost
blows
the plot.
by. Yeah. You got Sawa and TJP, a little Chikara 6-man, David Richards, Kota Ibushi. Nothing you should go out of your way to watch, but I never stopped it. I watched the whole show in one sitting.
No, if you're under the age of 25 listening to this podcast, you need to go watch Evolve 1 because I know you've never fucking seen it. So you need to go watch Evolve 1.
What's the match they need to go back to the BC in?
Well, you need to watch Evolve 1 to get to the good Evolves.
Oh, so
Yeah,
you
you need to
understand. Yeah, you
watch
can't watch
Evolve
the like,
1 so you can watch Evolve 10, a tribute to the arena.
Hell yeah. That's the real
Yeah,
one.
and then you can watch Evolve 132 Evolution's End.
how would you watch that if you've never seen Brad Allen versus Silas Young?
True.
You got to start one. You're right, Tanner. You're right. You're right.
Fuck.
Remember Scott?
But yeah, I mean, I try not to.
Oh, man. I love when we can just do, remember that guy? That's the good shit podcast.
That's
Yeah, when did
I
we
love that.
become like the old heads? Like, I feel like that's like an old people thing, right? It's like, you remember this guy? Like, saying we weren't doing that 10 years ago on Wazimcast. We were like, oh man, these New Japan ROH shows look cool. And now we're like,
it's all about the company.
goddamn.
Bucky
yeah,
was really
yeah.
fucking all y'all up with, remember this guy? Remember that match?
Dude,
Bucky shows up and he's like, I have 14 minutes to record this podcast. I will not stop talking.
it was awesome.
I love him. It was amazing. It was just so funny. I kept thinking, this guy has to go.
Yeah, Bucky is maybe my favorite person I've never co-hosted a podcast with on the fucking podcast. Because immediately comes in the call. What movie did he have? Y'all seen
The dude that was
Cliff?
Stomp.
Stop. I knew it was one word.
No, that's not a movie. That's
Yeah.
A
that's
play?
performance art.
Oh. They don't allow that here where I live.
That's rhythmic dance.
Yeah, but that was like within the first 30 seconds of the call. And then it was that for an hour and a half. And then the after call. And then all the stuff in the episode where he was like, remind me to send y'all this later. He sent it.
What a great memory on that guy.
It was truly remarkable because I'm not going to remember this podcast as soon as I leave the call.
I hope not.
I already don't remember what we talked about before we
Because
started.
you're drunk.
I'm buzzed, Chris.
Sam, have you ever watched any wrestling?
Do I watch wrestling?
Yeah, do you watch it?
Nah, not really.
Yeah, fair enough.
I've gotten really into the mines today, though. Really just
Minecraft?
Yeah, super Minecraft. My brain has been buzzing as I have watched Kahaga's match, a Damian Wayne match, a
2024 Damian Wayne?
oh you bet your ass, Vordell
shit.
Walker, and Derek King, all 2024 matches from those individuals.
Holy shit.
What a truly wonderful time to be alive. Were all those matches good? No.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
Were they always the best wrestler in those matches? Absolutely, 100%. No doubt about it. They still got it, folks.
Does Damian Wayne make your VP 100?
If I can find footage, absolutely. Gonna happen. Vordell, Walker, and Kahagas, though, probably got him beat.
Oh, interesting.
You a big Kahagas fan there, Tanner?
I probably haven't seen a Kahagas match in 12 years.
Well,
8 years.
He dropped the title and Tanner was out.
I don't think anyone.
You know what's
really
funny?
has.
Don't even know what fucking title you're talking about.
The
NWA
NWA
title?
World Championship.
The most prestigious prize in sports,
Fucking
you son of a
Mark.
bitch.
Hey. Okay, you got me.
Come on. Have some respect.
I don't know how Damian Wayne is as a wrestler in 2024, but his Facebook is a good time.
Wait, what? Tell me about this. I need to know more.
No, he just has a lot of thoughts about politics and wrestling.
I bet he
They're all
does.
Exactly what
I bet he does. Hell yeah. I bet he loves getting vaccinated.
I have so many questions now on Damian Wayne's. I'll never find it because
My first question is why is Dan friends with Damian Wayne on Facebook?
Good politics, guy. So you got to get him there.
yeah. Of course.
He likes
Yeah, you
to
West
hear from the other
Virginia
side.
gotta stick together.
Him and Dylan Summers. You got to add them both.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh my god.
I actually don't know who Dylan
Necro
Summers
Butcher.
is. Oh, duh.
Who's maybe dying in a hospital in Japan right now or something?
Who?
Rip.
Necro Butcher. He's stuck in a hospital in Japan.
Oh,
Not dying.
Well,
I
no,
don't know.
Oh, okay. I forgot that Necro Butcher was dying in a hospital in Japan.
I'm not a doctor, so
What if he comes back to America as a socialist? He's like, maybe this free healthcare stuff is pretty good. Just a thought.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Probably not.
I don't know. Maybe he's like, maybe if I'm a socialist, I can retire from wrestling again and win more money from DraftKings.
No, that's fair.
Could always happen. You don't know.
Now,
What would MAGA Butcher's socialist alter ego be called?
Woke Butcher's too easy.
we're a quick, witty podcast. That's what I like about us.
I mean, he's not a socialist, but maybe Bernie Butcher. Bernie Butcher. Did y'all hear that?
Bernie Butcher.
Bernie Butcher.
Y'all hear this? Y'all see this?
Bernie
Bernie
Butcher.
Butcher.
You're muted right now? Bernie Butcher.
Did y'all hear-
10 here, out now. Good lord.
I would say final answer, Barack Butcher.
Anyway.
Obama Butcher. Oh wait, that's way better.
Obama. Sure.
I think it'd be great if he worked as both MAGA
He
Butcher
would-
and Obama Butcher.
He has probably posted memes about butchering Obama.
Oh,
you
God.
know, probably has. Probably has. Man.
What about Brandon Butcher?
Brandon?
Oh, like let's go. Okay.
Yeah, it's a thinker.
Yeah,
it's a thinker.
it was really subtle.
Thinker. That's what I like about that one.
Yeah. I think you should just go full Biden Butcher.
Well, that might be a little too bold there,
Somebody's-
Tanner.
Yeah.
You
This is
think
getting
that's-
into your pre-podcast talk again.
We got some we got some hot politics talk here on Valley People Radio. We're well-rounded individuals.
January 6th Butcher.
Anywho, if Billy Corgan had
Are you even trying?
stones, he would strap up Kahagas tomorrow. Who the hell's the NWA
I agree.
champion, Dan?
No, I agree. I mean, I know about him. I love him. Tokyo Monster.
Who's the NWA
Sure,
champion
Kaha-
now? Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
You're the
Is it-
NWA
Is
historian.
it EC3?
I want to say
It is
Nick-
EC3.
Nick
That's
Aldis.
He's going to Japan.
That is correct. I saw
Who's
something.
he wrestling in Japan?
I don't think it's been announced yet.
Well, who's he working with?
I think All Japan, but I could be wrong.
Ah, God damn it!
Obviously, it's all Japan. That's
What do you mean? Obviously, they only bring in good foreigners.
Like Lord Crew.
Fucking Cyrus. Cyrus can hardly even get booked in fucking America. He has to go to Japan for me to even see him wrestle anymore. Fucking cowards won't book him here.
Remember, someone on our Discord, I'm probably being mean to them, but they thought we were talking about Tyrus, and they were furious that people were liking Tyrus. They were mad. They were like, it's not good. It is not good.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I lost it.
Tyrus is bad. I get it. Makes me mad, too.
There's some good stuff on our Discord. Y'all really should be joining that.
It's the best part of our site. Like, that's the best thing to come from our site existing, for sure.
10,000%. Could give a less of a fuck about the... No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
The Discord is really good.
Anywho. Does that wrap up what we've been watching this week?
I think it does.
I think we get our big topic.
Our big topic. It's beefy. It's chunky. Let's get into it. We're talking wrestling firsts. First up, we're talking about our first event. And Chris, you really gave us quite the tease earlier, so I need to hear about what the first event you ever went to.
Hell yeah.
All right. So, I never went to any wrestling events as a kid. Like, we watched Raw and stuff, but my parents never took us to any shows when they were in town. So I never went to a wrestling event until I got back into wrestling in college. And my roommate at the time got me a birthday present to a taping of WWE Monday Night Raw in October of 2015. And this episode of Raw has a 2.97 rating on cagematch.net.
Okay.
If you were watching Raw at the time, you may remember October 2015, or 2015 in general, being a pretty dire time in the company. There was some good stuff. Like the New Day was really getting hot. The John Cena Open Challenge was happening.
Was that
like,
the really good NXT year? Like with the Sasha Bailey stuff?
Yeah, so like NXT TakeOver Brooklyn had just happened, and they were like, all of the NXT women were getting called up. Anyway, at the time, Seth Rollins was feuding with Kane, and that was the main event feud. And this show was built around Triple H and Stephanie McMahon were not in Chicago. And so Kane was put in charge of the show. And so there were multiple vignettes of Kane being in charge of the show and putting on the facade as just a trustworthy corporate guy who's gonna do his job, but he's also got a non-title lumberjack match against Seth Rollins in the main event, and eventually he's going to show up as the Demon Kane and drag Seth Rollins to hell. The rest of I think there's like a really long promo to start the show that leads to a New Day tag team match against Dean Ambrose and Randy Orton for some reason that goes on really long, and it was really boring. There's a bunch of matches on this show that went like 3 minutes, like the Dudley Boys versus the Ascension.
Oh, hell yeah.
Kevin Owens versus Kalisto. Ryback versus Rusev in 3 minutes.
Well, that could be a hollow number. You're telling me it wasn't?
Yeah, this sounds awesome.
Alicia Fox and Brie Bella beat Becky Lynch and Charlotte in 3 minutes.
Okay.
Sure, why not?
And this was a Chicago crowd, so everyone was really wanted to see Becky Lynch and Charlotte win. because they're the smart fans, and they it was Team Bella's night against Team PCB. Roman Reigns defeated Braun Strowman by countout. John Cena versus Dolph Ziggler was the highlight of the night in one of the more forgettable United States Open challenges. And but I just remember there being so much Kane and Seth Rollins in the show. And I had just gotten back into wrestling, and I was confused as to like who, because like this was Seth Rollins as like the coward heel champ like gimmick.
It's like right before he gets injured too, right?
Yeah, and it was really confusing what like Kane's alignment was supposed to be, and also it was 2015 Kane.
So I don't remember anything about WWE. Why is he Authority and Demon Kane in the same episode of television?
Because he wrestled as Demon Kane, but he was Authority Kane when he was working with the Authority.
Well, is this like a Superman situation? What's going on here?
Well, also sometimes he would just wrestle in his khaki.
So
it really just depended.
What changes? Like, what makes that decision for us?
Have you ever been to an indie show where Caleb Conley is Caleb Conley and Suicide? It's kind of like that.
It's kind of like that. But they're supposed to be different people in that scenario, Dan. What I'm not understanding
it's nothing like this. I don't know. I don't want to talk about 2015 WWE. No offense, Chris. Sorry. No, it makes me so sad.
I need to get down to it.
It's a really depressing.
It's a miracle you're here today to talk about.
Yeah, it's crazy. This is your first live show, and then you ever went to another one.
Yeah, it's crazy. You saw that, and you were like, "I need more of that."
You're like, I should be obsessed with this.
Time to start the spreadsheet up.
Well, it was the Stardust versus Fandango match on Superstars. That was sneaky good and really ignited my love for the. For the
3
sport.
1/4 and 6 post on PWO for sure. For sure.
I think this is sick, twisted. I don't know why you would never become a professional wrestling fan. And
after that show, I have no idea.
In a lot of ways, you probably shouldn't have, regardless. What were your feelings coming out of this show? Like, obviously, it sucks, but
I was really annoyed by a guy in my section who kept chanting for Dean Ambrose the rest of the show.
It's a funny bit.
So the show opens with Dean, and he's like, "He'll come back."
The rest of the
he did in the lumberjack
match, and you're like, I want more.
He's probably a lumberjack.
God. I will say I went to an NXT house show and I drunkenly chanted Sombra over and over again because I really wanted to see him and through the entire show, and then he comes out and he immediately points at me up in the rafters. So I made myself known.
Yeah, I don't think I went to another wrestling show until NXT ran a house show in Milwaukee, which was a good move.
Good Lord. But just to go like, oh, the last show I went to was WWE. I bet this WWE NXT house show is going to be good. That's wild, Chris.
Well, I knew that an NXT house show featuring wrestlers that I liked would be better than an episode of Raw. I
am extremely curious how you get from this to a degenerate.
Well, you watch Kane versus Seth Rollins and you say, wow, this really sucks.
But wrestling could be good.
Yeah, what if this didn't suck? And you stop following Brandon Stroud on Twitter and you follow other people on Twitter.
Okay.
I think if I watched this show right now, I'd stop watching wrestling.
Yeah, I think the show you're describing.
I have it open on Cage Match. I just keep scrolling up and down, reading the same thing over and over.
It could
again.
single-handedly end the site.
I've got the
Well, I'm glad
episodes.
they got your money back a few years later when you went to SummerSlam and got to see the Tribal Chief.
They drew
Tribal
10,000
Chief.
on that show.
Travel.
I said tribal. I said tribal.
It doesn't even like real words anymore, Tanner.
Wouldn't that be crazy if he was called the Travel Chief, though?
Oh man, what a bit that would be.
He was at Disney World. He was at
He
Disney
really
World.
wants you to
I saw
book
that
your
picture.
Disney trip through him.
Yeah,
He's like, I'll save you money, I promise.
It is like, oh man, that'd be such a good bit. The Bloodline were just like fucking keys to the mouse vacation planners.
That's
Oh,
a free
man,
one for
that'd be a good
kayak.
bit.
The
Yeah.
travel chief, is that freaking LeBron? Because the refs don't call travel.
Hey, yeah, future Atlanta Hawk LeBron James.
Save it for the NBA
Jesus
podcast.
Christ. Dan has now made
We're
that
gonna-
joke
All
twice.
right, someone talk about a different show, please.
Hold on, I will say I think it'd be a great bit if we did an NBA podcast with this exact panel.
And we teach Tanner how the NBA draft works.
Let me tell you a thing about the lottery and Adam Silver hating small market teams. Anyway,
We don't have a lottery here.
We're talking about a frozen lottery. Was it?
Anyway, 2015 Dudley Boys. Like, what's the aura on those guys?
Oh,
Like, is the crowd really into
Insane.
them? Can you remember that?
Hotter than they were for the Ascension.
Oh yeah!
Hotter
Oh yeah!
for the Dudleys than Victor or Connor? Big Con?
Yeah, it was messed up.
That's fucked up. That is so fucked up.
Dudley Boys. Not the last
Probably
time we'll
because
hear
the
from them tonight.
Ascension. It's probably because the Ascension ruined the American Wolf's chances at making it big time.
I have no idea what the fuck that means, Tanner.
The fucking Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards had like a tryout match with the Ascension and it sucked
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
And then they just both went to TNA.
Hey,
it would have been smooth. It would have been smooth sailing for Davey after that point. If it
Dude,
was a
yeah,
good match.
Davey would have had to become a paramedic. He could have been a wrestler
It's
like
his
God
life's calling,
intended.
Tanner. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah, whatever. Imagine Davey versus fucking Stardust on Superstars in 2015.
Suck.
Fandango is way better.
Okay, imagine Davey versus Fandango.
All right, now we're talking.
Stardust is way better.
Triple threat.
Someone talk about their show, please.
All right, my first show was Monday Night Raw in October 12th, 2015.
Dan, thank you for buying my alcohol.
wait. Don't be advertising that. All right. I'll talk about
No,
mine.
I had just turned 21, but it
I didn't
was
say
my birthday, so you bought.
Yeah. It's always
Oh,
good
yeah.
to insist on buying people alcohol. Never weird. My first show is let me do some math here. 21 years before that. I think I'm. Wait. I think is that right?
94?
No, wait. It's 1996. Whatever math that comes out to. That's 19
Jesus
years. I
Christ.
think.
That was almost before I was born. Jesus fucking Christ.
I mean, there's actually some dispute in my family about whether this was my first show. They claim I went to a show at the Richfield Coliseum, but I don't remember it. And my mom doesn't like wrestling, so she has no information on it.
Awesome.
She just says, "I think you went there."
What? So they just take their baby to a wrestling show, even though nobody liked. What was the?
Well, I
vibe?
mean, I would have been 6. That's the other thing. I remember stuff from 6. That's why I argue it. I
okay.
remember this. I'm 8. And they're
I
like,
get you.
whatever. I talked about it on Desert Island Comp with Sam. My mom, I grew up with just my mom, single mom, and so even if there was something she hated, like she hated wrestling, she would make it a point to let me experience it as much as possible. So I went to. Did someone just hear my sister say your mom's a bitch? Okay.
Yeah.
I did not get to mute in time. I heard her open the door. I was like, "What did you guys scream? Your mom's a bitch." That is my deceased mother, and so she made a point to take me to a lot of live shows. But we definitely went to SummerSlam '96 at the Gund Arena, and it rocks. It has a bad number on Cage Match too, 5.67. But I think they're wrong.
The inmates are never wrong. First of all,
They never get anything wrong. It was Steve Austin versus Yokozuna. I mean, I don't know if I need to go down it because but a lot of people have probably seen it. Owen Hart versus Savio Vega. 4-way for the WWE Tag Team titles with the Smoking Gun, the Body Donnas, the Godwins, and New Rockers. Psycho Sid versus the British Bulldog. Goldust versus Mark Marrow. Jerry Lawler versus Jake Roberts. Mankind versus Undertaker. Boiler Room Brawl. And
That's
Shawn
sick.
Michaels versus Vader. Yeah.
Sick shit, man.
You're just watching the Boiler Room Brawl. You're just watching the screen.
That's real.
And then they come out, which I remember later finding out they pre-recorded it, and it blew my mind. I was like, no, I'm watching a live screen at the Boiler Room, obviously.
I definitely just assumed you were watching a live screen till just now.
But no, yeah, they start when
Damn,
they
that
burst
can't be
into the
real.
hallway.
Tanner, tell me you're lying.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, because the truth.
Like to be in the rhythm of the match, like to pre-record it and then be like, well, let's get out here and fuck around.
Have you ever seen one of these matches, Tanner?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah, okay. You think there's rhythm there? There is no rhythm in or out.
As a performer, first of all, Sam, I don't think you could have a Boiler Room Brawl. I'm just gonna.
You don't think I could?
I'm just gonna be straight up. I don't think you could work one.
Probably
So
not.
we're gonna put some.
Yeah, we're working stiff here.
We're gonna put some respect on these fucking workers, brother. Second of all, I feel like it would be easier to just do it fucking live. Who cares?
Sam worked a dog collar match.
You're trying to call me out?
That's true. Against the giant Demus.
But yeah,
Oh man.
uh,
Oh man. Hey, we have fun here at violentpeople.co.
But mine's basically a story of I was 8 and this fucking ruled. I don't know, every moment of it ruled. Every wrestler on it ruled. I was super into wrestling at that point. I mean, that's the beginning stages of it getting crazy hot. And I think I told the story in Desert Island Comp too, but my mom really hated anytime The Undertaker or Kane, when she was on the show, but maybe Goldust, any wrestler that had the lights go out or pyro, she hated, but she would always try to read trashy romance novels and mystery novels at the shows. So she'd just be sitting there and I'm like, The Undertaker.
That's a great bit. That's incredible.
But yeah, I don't know.
I
just kept going to show. Anytime they're in Cleveland, I go. So,
are all of our
What?
shows WWE shows?
oh, that's funny.
Mine is, yeah.
I was going to say, it felt obvious that was going to happen, but I was curious. I was 11 for my first show. Well, actually, no,
Ooh.
I was 10 because what happened.
Can't do math.
Math is hard. I'm glad someone else had trouble with it.
Yeah. February 2nd, 2000, at the Broome County Veterans Memorial Arena in Binghamton, New York.
Is this show not on fucking Cage Match?
Oh.
Sending us a fucking wrestling data link. Jesus Christ.
That's no.
whatever.
That's no. But yeah, I don't remember this card very much. I remember making signs for this event because I was, let's get that RVD sign. It was a two panel sign with the hands.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Do you still have it?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Oh.
And my dad told me that Rob Van Dam pointed up to me. He was like, hey, look at that sign. It's a sick sign. I was like 50 rows back. Not likely, but I couldn't see because I had the sign in front of my face. So I just took his word for it. He wrestled Christian.
No, he did.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
He wrestled
Yeah, I think
Christian
he definitely
on that
did.
card. Also made a Brock Lesnar sign and a test sign.
You had 3 signs?
Confirmed dead test.
Well, you'll see, you have the double hand sign for Rob Van Dam, and then you switch both panels over, because you can do that, like paper, 2 sides to it, and then you do other sign on the back of them.
Oh, so you were doing some fucking...
Maximizing space, yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed.
obviously.
Biggest heel on the show, Rico. 2000 for 2003 reasons.
Why is that, Sam?
Yeah.
For 2003
That's crazy.
reasons.
Binghamton, New York didn't take well to. Oh, that's weird, huh?
Yeah,
I'm
Binghamton,
gonna have
New
to look
York.
into that.
Don't let New York
Interesting.
fool you. That's a red county if there ever was one. So
Okay.
a lot of evil there. But you got Batista versus Brock Lesnar, so you can't hate that too much. But the main event was the Dudley Boys versus Lance Storm and William Regal. So A-list stars being brought out to Binghamton, New York to main event this one.
Do you remember Lesnar Batista at all?
Absolutely not. Not
Oh, because I think that only ever happened one other time in the OVW match.
That's funny. That's, I was dumb. Football has knocked out a number of memories from my youth. So, unfortunately, I know nothing about it.
Well, I can imagine 2003 Sam was probably like, oh my God, they wrestled in OVW. That's probably what you were thinking.
Yeah, that's what I was feeling. Man,
Yeah.
that's sick shit.
Yeah. Sam was reading PWI on a weekly basis.
Yeah. I know 2000, I know 11-year-old Sam was losing it for Lance Storm. What 11-year-old doesn't love Lance Storm?
Yep. He looked at his dad and said, Dad, if they don't get 17 minutes, I'm going to fucking rage.
I remember in that main event, the local DJ was involved post-match. So that's
Elvis Duran?
where do you think Elvis Duran's located, Tanner?
Oh, Z100's in New York. It's close enough.
Okay, fair enough. Louis G is our local DJ. Hot commodity in the biz here in Binghamton. He was the number one radio DJ for like a decade. He bounced between two different radio stations. Pretty much wherever he was the number one show in town. Whether it's 104.1 or 105.7. It was his
Is it the
show.
1940s in Binghamton? What the fuck? This local DJ is y'all's biggest celebrity?
I don't know what to tell you. He had all the connections.
Let me tell you, kid, wherever Louis G went is where the people... What the fuck are you on about?
Hey, I don't know. Do you guys not have like a hot radio community going on in the early 2000s?
I mean, we had a guy named Louis Vinguini, but I wouldn't say he was like, yes, everybody is like a local star. I would just say guy on the radio.
Guy on the radio. All right, let me link you to this Louis G interview
You have any
from
sound
16
bites?
years ago. There you go. That's a Louis G interview from the local news station from 16 years ago. For the Louis
I mean,
G.
do you expect me to watch this right now?
Louis G Foundation.
Yeah.
If you could just take some time, Tanner, you specifically,
Okay, yeah.
give it a good old listen. I will wait you to
Yep.
do that.
Steve Craig says Louis G always calls him bro, and he likes that.
Hell yeah! You get
That's
it.
awesome.
You get
For the
Hell
folks
yeah.
at home, Luigi is wearing a very cool hat.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
it.
Dude, the Oakdale Mall. Sam, you want to tell us what kind of stores were involved in the Oakdale Mall?
It's now called the Oakdale Commons because all the big stores left. But it is one of the few malls in central New York, southern tier, that have actually converted from being a piece of shit, dead ass mall to something usable. It's got BJ's in there.
Oh, okay. What other stores are we? Yeah, what other stores are we looking at?
It used to have a J.C. Penney's and a Kohl's and a Bon Ton.
I
Thought you were
gotta know.
saying
We're talking the
HJ's.
BJ's, the restaurant or the wholesale club? This is important.
Wholesale
No,
club.
neither,
What
brother.
the fuck is the restaurant?
There's a BJ's restaurant too.
I
mean,
don't
it's
know
not.
about
They're
that.
not connected at all. Not connected at all.
It's-
I worked at the wholesale club for like 7 years or something.
How'd that go?
when I
Is
was
that
in
like
school.
is that like a
I
Costco
loved it.
situation?
Yeah, it's exactly like Costco, except people make blowjob jokes to you a lot.
Oh,
There you
yeah, I
go.
wouldn't even have thought of that.
Even if you're like a 16-year-old boy, old men will come up to you and be like, "BJ, huh?"
That's not funny.
Wow. Hey,
Oh man,
it's not PC, let me tell you. I marked this podcast as clean, but I gotta change that.
Wait till I release the Tanner cut.
It's that every episode's the Tanner cut.
But man, what a show. Louis G, what a guy. I
bet Steve Craig was there.
I met Louis G many a time. I worked with him at the Great Speedy Fest. Good dude.
Hell yeah. Still alive, I assume.
Obituary, just double check that.
I just want to know, is he still DJing?
No.
Oh.
No. I think like his brother recently passed. So
You're telling me
I took a shot out of him. He's made a lot of money from being the
Louis
number one
G.
DJ in Binghamton for nearly a decade. So
how much money can the number one DJ in Binghamton, like, how much?
Hell of a lot more than the number 2.
Apparently, it gets you a lot of clout. I mean, goddamn, Sam's talking about him 21 years later.
I don't know what to tell you. Quite the character, that Louis G. He is alive by my search of Louis G. Binghamton obituary.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
So, good for him. Still kicking it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Anyway, that was my first show.
Are we ready for my first show?
Sure, yeah. Hit me with it.
I'm going to preface. My first show was June 1st, 2009. I do not remember a lot of the show because my dad died the next Monday, so I missed that Monday's Raw. So I will be going over what I do remember. So the dark match was Festus versus Sheamus, which was awesome. It was the first time I ever saw Sheamus. It was a great match. Best match on the show.
I bet.
I really don't remember any of this. Oh, MVP versus Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston, that was his first title win of many, and Dave Meltzer gave it 3.5 stars. The main event of the evening, not counting superstars, there's a lot of tag matches like Chavo Guerrero and John Cena versus Big Show and The Miz went like 5 minutes. Batista versus Cody Rhodes had a 3-minute and 10-second steel cage match.
Hot fire.
But the main event was Santino Marella versus Vicky Guerrero, and it went to a no contest.
The WWE has always fucking been off.
I will say, this show, I'm looking at this show's card. It has to be the Sheamus Festus dark match carrying this. Has a cage match rating of a 5.03, which seems insane. 3 inmates have given this an 8, which seems absurd. I will say this show ended in an angle where, because this was the go home show for Extreme Rules 2009, which is the show where CM Punk cashed in Money in the Bank on Jeff Hardy, started the Punk Hardy feud, which was phenomenal through that summer of 2009. And Randy Orton like beat the shit out of Ric Flair, like bloody, like super bloody Ric Flair. They dropped the cage. I don't know if this actually made television or not, but they dropped the cage and Orton punts Flair. It was extremely sick. But then on Superstars main event, Chris Jericho, Dolph Ziggler versus Jeff Hardy and R-Truth. And yeah, that's the first show I went to. I was 13, I think. Yeah. I was 13. This was my first show, and this is the only show I went to for 7 or 8 years.
Chris, how old were you when you went to your first show?
I was 21.
21.
So 21, and then we were all, for the most part, well, I didn't get into wrestling until I was like 12.
No one else had hit puberty for going show.
Yeah.
Chris out here drinking. So
I'm trying to figure out why Chavo would have teamed with John Cena. There's no way Chavo was a face.
Why is that, Tanner?
Well, because Vicky was working heel.
All right, I see how it is.
I'm just trying to figure out what happened there.
I was almost going to ask everyone what everyone's first indie show was, because I was curious, since that might be maybe a little bit more or less depressing than all of our first WWE shows, which just happened to be our very first shows ever. But I didn't say that beforehand.
I can tell you mine real quick.
What was it, Tanner?
I went to a New South show in 16 or 17. I'm actually trying to find it real quick. But I remember I went out there. I saw Christian Haim wrestled, but main event, I remember, Sam, you'll appreciate this, was Colin Delaney, 2CW legend, against AR Fox. And it was actually really fucking good and kind of made me fall back in love with wrestling in a way I didn't think was possible. I'm really trying to find what year the show was in. I'm going to say it was in 2016.
There you go.
Yep. Here it is. New South Wind City Part 1. 2016. Yeah, Christian Haim versus Cabana Man Dan. There was only like 4 matches on the show. What the fuck? Okay. But yeah, Colin Delaney versus AR Fox was the main event. And it was good. And I don't think it is possible to see that show. I don't
Hell
think it was
yeah.
taped, to my knowledge. Yeah.
Chris, do you have a less depressing first independent wrestling show?
I'm just double checking dates here.
All right, Dan, do you have a less depressing?
Yes, let me see. I believe it was a Cleveland All Pro Wrestling show. And I'm trying to find it.
Well, my first, while you guys do that, I'll let you folks know about my first independent wrestling show. 2CW's Fight to No Avail, aka 2CW's FTNA. They named the show this because after they announced the show for this date, TNA announced a show about an hour away, 45 minutes away, for that date, which to me feels a bit extreme to harbor that level of grudge for a 45 minutes away show. I don't know about you, but I'm not going to that. The big draw to the show was the Blue Meanie. And I went with my dad because it was not seen as maybe a good idea for me to go to this part of Binghamton at this late at night by myself when I was under 18. So that was fun, a whole experience for me and him to share with one another. And main evented by an elimination match between the Great Dizzy, Eddie Edwards, Isis Effects, and Slick Wagner Brown. Which is better than I expect for that time. And look at the card, truly dreadful stuff here. Just overall, can't believe I went to dozens of these 2CW shows over the years. What a terrible life experience.
Sam making it up that your Twitter handle used to be 2CW Sam. Or is that your display name?
Display name.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
In part because TJ Hawk let me know he would sometimes reference me as 2CWs.
Okay. I knew there was a bit behind it, but I couldn't remember if it was your actual handle or just your display.
Okay, I do have confirmation on my, because I wasn't sure if I had been to an ICW Milwaukee show before or after this, but my first indie show is in fact Evolve 111.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
From Livonia, Michigan. It was Matt Riddle's last Evolve show until he came back because of the WWE partnership.
Scared him off.
But that has a Matt Riddle versus JD Drake match and a really good Walter versus Anthony Henry match. Darby Allin works that show twice. And I was already at that time huge Darby Allin. Like, I don't know if I had voted in the polls yet, but if I had not already been high vote on him, I was about to.
What year was 111? Is this
2018?
18? Okay.
So yeah, much better show than that Raw taping in 2015. I'll tell you that much.
I don't know, but is it better than Colin Delaney versus A.R. Fox?
Great question.
Couldn't tell you. Did Walter go through a table?
No, he didn't.
Colin Delaney.
Stokely Hathaway did.
Oh, okay. Who was Stokely with at that time? Was Thatcher still in Evolve in 2018?
So this was like, I think it was just like him, Dickinson, and Jaka, and maybe Dom.
Yeah, I forget that Dom was there for a second.
Rip to Jaka, you know?
Well, I just watched Evolve 1, so more shows, and I'll check this out. Oh, wait, 110 more shows. Man, math is killing me today.
Yeah, give Dan about 2 weeks, and he'll be caught up, and he'll be watching Evolve 111.
Oh, man.
1, 2, skip a few. 111. There you go.
I found my first indie show.
Hell yeah.
I had to find a couple things because I had this timeline in my head, and it turns out it's a little farther apart than I thought. But in my kid head, I thought it was like immediately. In November of 2003, I'm 15. We know I'm not going to map, but I'm about 15. AJ Styles and versus Raven main events a Cleveland All Pro show, which I had known existed for a while, and it was in a not great part of town. My mom said, "You're not going there, not going there." And I said, "AJ Styles is coming." And she said, "Okay, good politics guy, we'll go." And it's awful. I mean, M-Dog's on the show. Chad Collier, I think, was their champion. Yep, was the champion at the time. Tracy Brooks and ODB. Pretty standard Cleveland All Pro show where it's just a bunch of shitty matches, and then they bring in, big names on top. Like the show before that was Raven versus Buff Bagwell.
Hell yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I missed that one with the AJ Styles versus Raven, but I convinced her 2 months later to drive the 2.5, 3 hours to the Dayton Fairgrounds to take me to a Ring of Honor show, which was Ring of Honor, the battle lines are drawn. And I don't know why she hated this. I think it's just because the weather was bad, so the drive was bad. She hated the show and said, "I'm only taking you to big time shows. We're not doing this bullcrap ever again." And 5 months later, when I tried to go to Ring of Honor, she wouldn't go, and that was the first Joe vs. Punk. And so my mom, kind of the devil. What are you gonna do?
Damn.
That's why your sister said.
But in my mind, it was like Cleveland All Pro Wrestling happened. 2 weeks later, the Ring of Honor show happened. Like another month, another Ring of Honor show happened, and she was like, "No," and I'm like, "It wasn't that bad." You love Chad Collier, mom. Admit it.
Oh my god, that's beautiful.
So I didn't start going to any shows again until probably, I would guess, 05, 06, when I started having friends that could drive, and I would convince like a series of friends like that I would just run through, like, check out the show, you're gonna love it. They wouldn't love it, so next time I got to convince a different friend, check this out, you're gonna love it.
I get it.
Yeah, and that was the scam at that point. But yeah, I really only went to 1 or 2 Cleveland All Pro shows. Even though they were really close, they just were not in a part of town my mom would let me go to, so it had to be a secret anytime I went.
I don't know. Buff Bagwell's there. I can't imagine.
You fucking lie to your mother? Is that what you're admitting to on this podcast? Did you lie to your mother? Can't respect you for
I'm not
that.
admitting to anything that Tanner wouldn't have admitted to before we were recording.
I don't understand what that means.
The people
I said I didn't know how the NBA draft works.
And how embarrassing is that? Good lord. Read a book or something.
Hey, I heard they call LeBron that kid from Akron.
I'm looking at this Ring of Honor show I made my mom go to. Matt Striker versus Alex Shelley. Nigel McGuinness versus Cody Hawk. I don't know why she didn't love this.
All right, that Cody Hawk match I think sounds pretty lit.
Mike Mondo versus Seth Skyfire.
Yeah, I definitely would have taken your ass back.
All right, wait. What?
What's the main event, Dan?
The main event was the Prophecy of BJ Whitmer, Christopher Daniels, and Dan Moff versus the Second City Saints, H Steel, CM Punk, and Colt Cabana.
All right, yeah.
That went 30 minutes. She
Okay.
probably wanted to go home so bad.
Jesus
during that.
fucking Christ.
I bet she was begging me to leave early. 28 minutes. And I told her it was the last match. She was definitely like, please. Please.
I had a similar experience seeing the Christopher Daniels match in the year of our Lord 2024 at an AEW taping.
Shit.
And I'm like, there's no way they're bringing Christopher Daniels out here at 11 p.m. Central fucking time. And sure enough, they were. And it was the next to last match. I said, fuck this, really.
Tony's trick.
I love the post Dynamite Rampage. I just kind of like take a quick nap for like half an hour, and then I'm going to drive home. I'm pretty tired after Dynamite. That's a lot of wrestling, but
Yeah, my Dynamite was cool too. Sting came down from the rafters. It was awesome. And then they're like, all right, who's ready for the Acclaimed? I'm like, you're fine.
I'm waking up during
You're gonna
Orange
have-
Cassidy versus Matt Hardy. It's good stuff.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Good Lord. Tony's does not have the tut. Doesn't know what the fuck. For sure.
I don't want to get into an episode, but I have a lot of thoughts. Maybe our topic of the week next week will be
Tony? Got it?
Yes. Tony, is he cooking? Question mark. Yeah, I'll get to work on that.
All right. Well, we were going to do first fave wrestlers, but it feels like, do we want to hold that off for another week? And
I think we can hold that off. I think we went.
And hop into, what is it, Tanner?
All right, everybody. Introducing a brand new segment on our first show. Welcome to the Wacky Line, where we take your questions and we give you our answers. In future episodes, you will be able to email, perhaps. If Sam knows the email offhand, he can say it now. If not, there will be some communication about how you can submit questions before next week's episode.
Great job.
ViolentPeople.org at gmail.com.
ViolentPeopleOrg at gmail.com. Email it there. But I have a couple questions for our panel. Now, they know two of them because some people in our Discord don't know what private message me means. So I have a couple questions. A few, some would say. And yeah, we're just going to answer them. Question number one.
Real fast, I want the listener to know we asked or Tanner to send us to us, and he said no. And here we are.
I actually said I'm the question master. I don't think everybody needs to see the questions for the show. I think the spontaneity is what makes the Q&A segment. So, I mean, do you think at presidential debates, they're giving the guys the questions?
My God.
I don't want to talk about politics anymore, Tanner. Please.
Bernie Butcher. All right. Question number one from
Tanner.
From what?
Sit or stand right now.
What? Yeah. So Tim asked, in honor of the retirement of Chuck Taylor, sit or stand? Obviously, it's stand.
Oh, for y'all that don't know, this is a reference to when you're wiping your ass after a shit.
Yep. Wait, no, it's not. It's the pissing, is it not?
No.
No.
Oh, I
hope we're all standing up pissing. If you're not, get off the
definitely thought it was in relation to pissing. Okay, if it's relating to
Tanner,
wiping
talk to me
your
about
ass,
that one. Let's unpack that.
Then
Why did you think that?
Because that's like the age-old debate. You sit or stand. Because now
I don't think people debate that. I think people stand up.
No, it's a legitimate thing. Like a lot of people, a lot of guys now will sit when they piss. Because, like, if you're mid shit and then you have to piss really
bad. Is this
bad,
like a left wing propaganda sort of thing going on?
Tanner has a lot of thought about who can go in what bathrooms. He was telling me.
No, Jesus Christ. No. No, I'm just saying, like, instead of standing up to piss, they'll just, like, whoop.
Standing, if you stand, you're against equality. That's what Tanner's thinking right now. I get it.
Oh, man.
No, but Tanner, have you never seen, like, any of those shoot interviews?
No, I've seen the China video.
What do you mean by that?
I've never seen that's
what?
I We've seen 3 shoot interviews in my life. The China video.
One,
What do you mean
one of
the
them
China
was one night
video?
in China.
The fucking went to China.
The China one where X-Pac in China.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No. No.
Okay.
No.
So you're
I
saying
meant
not that one?
Not that
No,
one.
with-
That's one of the other ones you've seen.
Jesus fucking Christ. No. We were talking about Chuck Taylor. Jesus Christ. Anyways, sit to wipe your ass. That's the only answer.
Yeah, I said.
I said,
So I'm doing kind of a twofer here. I have a bidet, so I like to do a little sitting, get a little dry, but I like to stand to kind of to finish things up, kind of like just to wrap it up, call it a day.
all right, Mr. Moneybags.
I gotta be honest. I have a non-functional bidet. It'll cost me like $20 to hook up, and I never have yet.
Interesting.
It's life changing
Interesting.
stuff.
It was here when we got the house, and it's just never been hooked up yet.
My wife literally messaged me yesterday and said, we need a bidet. And I have no idea what brought that on, but I just, yeah, like probably. It seems like a cool thing to have.
I agree. It is a cool have.
All right. So, but Sam, can I ask, like, why are you doing a twofer method? I mean,
Well, a previous Sam before bidet, he was just a straight stand.
Whoa.
That's
Whoa.
were you shitting standing up? Because that's the
Shut
only way
the-
that makes sense.
Shut the fuck up. I was just finishing my shit and then I'd stand and wipe. That was the.
Like a dog.
That's
I
not how
don't-
dogs do it.
I don't know if Tanner understands pissing or shitting at all. Everything.
You can't say that when you're saying I'm a stand-up guy when it comes to wiping my ass. It doesn't even make sense. Were you spreading fucking cheek?
Do you guys use a squatty potty?
No, I kind of
That's
want
just
one
alright.
though. I got Crohn's, but
Wow, Dan.
Learning a lot here.
so
This is an every week thing?
this
I don't.
is everything.
Crohn's means you can't use a squatty potty.
No, I think it'd be really beneficial. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't see how that's going to stop you,
it's
man.
a good investment. Good investment.
What if you had 2? Probably be even better.
Got 2 toilets.
No, I don't.
So
Yeah.
One for shitting standing up, one for shitting sitting down and standing up.
anywho,
I'm not. Yeah.
I think we've answered this question pretty thoroughly.
This is. I'm not. This is just taking it. How's your pool doing? If we're talking about Sam's house.
It's doing better.
Yeah,
It's not green
Okay,
anymore.
that's good.
It's
That's good.
I gotta get a
That's good.
handheld vacuum because the robo vacuum they gave us with the house doesn't really work really well.
all those vacuums suck. All the robo vacuums that you attach to the pump fucking suck. Or the filter, whatever.
So that's my current situation.
Well, the handheld one's attached to the filter too.
But I can
Yeah, I
pick
guess-
where it
I guess you're
vacuums,
Yeah.
right? The vacuum one just
Yeah,
keeps leaving stripes in my pool. Bullshit. On the
Well, to be
floor.
fair, can you not just like guide the robo one? Like all the automatic ones we always had, you could kind of just pick it up and do it that
What am I
way.
doing? Get in the pool to do this, Tanner?
Oh, it's way easier to vacuum if you're in the pool, in my opinion.
Yeah. Are you not? How do you think you're going to use a handheld, motherfucker?
Well, I'll do it then, but I'm not gonna just walk around with this fucking contraption in my arms trying to suck shit up. What the hell? Oh man, let's stop talking about the pool. I'll let you know when it's time to come over, Dan.
All right,
I can't wait for next week's pool update. Well, Dan's already invited me to his pool. I haven't got an invite from Sam yet.
You're not gonna. When I get a Christmas
Yeah.
card, you can come to my pool.
Okay, well you better
I'll be waiting.
Hey,
Those-
stand
those
up and
timelines
wipe
don't-
your
don't-
ass
don't
because
work.
it's coming.
All right, what are the other questions? Are there
All right.
3 more?
Thanks,
Um,
Tim.
Yeah, I have a couple more here. This one coming from Justice. If you could take one guy from the Indies, including Japan and Mexico, to get a big push as an unstoppable boogeyman type monster in a major wrestling promotion, who would it be and which promotion would you choose? Personally, I think this question is a little hard to answer because I think there's only ever been like 2 major wrestling promotions. But I think my obvious answer, because they say including Japan and Mexico, I think Takayama, an obvious answer here. But I don't know when in history I would want Takayama to come to another promotion, I guess is my issue. Like 2003 Takayama in TNA, like does that cook? No. 2003 Takayama in WWE?
I'm going to be honest, Tanner. You took this question in a direction that I did not expect. I was not anticipating this being all time.
All time. It doesn't say all time. I think it'd be right now.
But Tanner has taken it there. And it has.
Okay, I just assumed it would be all time.
Because you were afraid you have to say cruel. Is that why? You're like,
well, I think the answer is Cruel in 2015 WWE.
Dude, Cruel versus Kane?
Yeah.
Cruel versus Seth Rollins?
Kane in a lumberjack match.
Wouldn't it be cool if Cruel was either the Authority Kane or Demon Kane and the other Kane was just...
both.
It could be both.
Hey, Sam, can I ask you something? This is a little off topic, but you went to Dean. This is talking about Cruel. This is wrapping back to Cruel, I promise. Did people at that show try to gaslight you into thinking that Cruel Warhorse was a good match?
It wasn't they tried to gaslight me. It's just there's some narrative building in motion happening during that match, which I was super uncomfortable with.
There's 11 good matches on that card. I think it's okay that one of them was bad.
I don't think the match was bad. It's not a gimmick.
It was funny.
I think it was the best Warhorse match I've seen in a long time.
I agree, but it's because I haven't seen a Warhorse match in 6 years.
Okay, my answer is Josh Bishop. Because that's my answer for everything.
What promotion, TNA?
Well, probably 2005 01.
01.
Why? Wait, so it could be any promotion anytime? It just can't be any guy anytime?
Honestly, I think it's way funnier.
What the fuck? Okay. Whatever. You know what? I'll allow it. Fuck it. Who cares?
Chris.
Yeah, I'm taking Keita Yano
Okay.
as my unstoppable monster. And I'm inserting him into 80s WWF.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm just taking this like 5'7" Japanese guy, and he's going to dominate every single of these roided up monsters. He's gonna make them do mat work, and he's going to become the biggest star in wrestling history. Dude,
Yano Hogan going 25 on the mat. Goddamn.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen Hogan in Japan, but he's sneaky on the mat. Keita Yano could get some.
I'll check that out.
He was definitely doing some sneaky puro resu for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You can find the clips out there.
Yeah, no, it's out there. It's out there. You can find clips of Hulk Hogan doing a lot of stuff.
Like that China video.
No, this is a different. They're
yeah, more like Bubble the Love Sponge video.
He's a radio guy.
Bob Backlund, though.
Oh man, that would have been good. I feel like that's a match that could happen today, to be honest.
Please,
I would love that. So I think you throw like Ricochet Page, modern day Ricochet Page, into ECW. That's just a great time for everyone.
Wow, Sam, and I would assassinate you to avoid that from ever happening to anybody.
That would be
Ricky Shane Page. Are you bidding?
Yes, I'm absolutely bidding. I think it'd be deeply
book,
funny
right?
though.
Because if you're booking Ricky Shane Page, he gets the book.
That's why Sam had to stop liking Sami Callihan, because he became the booker for every promotion he fucking worked.
It's because he got fat.
I hear he's a really good guy.
Fucking shoot me in the fucking head.
Do you guys know that Kato Yano wrestled Mike Seidel twice?
Hell
6 years
yeah!
apart?
Wait, 6 years ago?
6 years apart. 8 years ago and 14 years ago.
I
think I've seen one of those matches.
I know I've seen the Chikara one, but I just saw Mike Seidel pop up again. I'm like, that's crazy. They ran it back.
All right, I got a couple.
I forgot he worked Chikara.
Man.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that Chikara match.
It's a Young Lions Cup.
Man. I got a couple more questions for you. The Chikara draft coming next week. This question comes from Henry. Question for the podcast. What are your wrestling and cartoon/anime dream team? Bonus points come up with a match with them against another team. I can't think of two, but I got one for you. Give me John Cena. Give me the Iron Giant.
How do you fit him in the ring?
How do you fit
Big
him in the ring?
No, Chris, you want to know my answer? Not in the ring, in the motherfucking junkyard.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
And they wrestle El Machuraro and Demus.
Give me Hulk Hogan and Hulk Hogan from Rock and Wrestling.
Oh,
Give 'em up.
okay.
Give me your Shino and Scooby Doo.
You
Um,
kind of stole the route I was gonna take. I was gonna take Rob Van Dam and Shaggy.
Oh, that's such a good one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they should go against each other. I think that's the only natural conclusion.
Yeah, I think that's the Scooby Shaggy Mega Powers Explode match.
Oh, for
Well, I don't-
sure.
And then Scrappy Doo gets involved because he did just kill Velma in season 2 of Velma. Spoiler alert
Spoilers,
for Velma.
yeah.
Okay, I guess I can't watch that. Right.
Well, it fucking sucks. You shouldn't be watching it to begin with.
Seems like you watched 2 full seasons of it.
I saw it on TikTok. I literally saw the.
Why are you watching? Why are you watching TikToks about Velma?
Yeah,
It was
Velma
a
TikTok.
25-second TikTok.
He's like, I don't have time for Twitter. It's rotting my brain. Let me get on
Why are
Velma
you watching
TikTok.
TikToks?
Why am I watching TikToks?
That was the question.
It's a loaded question. I don't. I got to see my AMV set to Judas by Lady Gaga. Also, where I get my Jujutsu Kaisen spoilers on Thursdays.
Okay.
Louis G is in local government.
Oh, hell yeah.
Awesome.
What's that political affiliation, brother?
Yeah.
Is Louis G Louis R?
I think Louis G is Louis
Or
R.
is Tanner gonna have to storm the Capitol again?
I think he had,
Let me just ask this. Where was Louis G on January 6th?
I think he had cancer. I think he's too frail to move around too much.
That's what I said about Necro, and then he came back.
I mean, they're the
No,
Anywho.
no. Everybody knows that Necro came back to fight against the vaccines. It was too woke.
We gotta stop this right now.
Okay.
Did
Is
we
there
all
one more
answer that
question?
Yeah, that's a question. Yeah, one more question for the panel. Then I have a Chris specific question. He'll be able to answer quick. Last question for the panel from Dweeb, aka Ollie. What is a trope of wrestling that will never get old to you and get you to pop every time? I think. So I kind of have two answers. One, I pop, but it's not because I like it, but it's also the namesake of this website. Just when somebody stares at their hands because they're too violent, that gets a fucking hoot and a holler out of me. I don't like it, but it's just so fucking funny every time I see it. I do pop, but it's not a positive pop.
Mine is because I was watching all the old IWA Mid-South, is the Doug Gilbert, Tracy Smothers, like, I'm not gonna wrestle. Like, I can objectively see why someone would hate it, but I love Tracy Smothers bailing out of the ring 7 times and just pissing everyone off. Like, it gets me every time.
Like similar note, I love the Samoa Joe walk away spot.
Great spot.
Like, always so smooth. Like, he's so cool. Samoa Joe's coolest fucking wrestler. Always pop for.
I pop if you're over the age of 65 wrestling.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
Just flat out.
Unless you're Larry Z, and then
Yeah, I pop
area.
Larry said.
like
Ooh.
old man blood.
Yeah, Old Man Blood, also good.
I
he's
pop,
like, they really need that blood.
if you are over 50 and you are losing blood in a match, it is automatically half a star added to the match.
Yep, absolutely.
When it's a tag team match and the heel team, the guys going into the ring eat shit on his way into the ring. Time.
Okay. Could not think of one match that has that instance.
Really?
Off the top of my head. So I'm just gonna trust you on that one.
All right.
All right, Chris, are you ready for your question? You're the only one that can answer this.
Okay.
Ready for it? Sit or stand?
Question from Brandon from Maine. Chris, do you think there should be a blurb requirement for number one choices in the Violent People 100?
Ooh.
I've thought about this. I don't necessarily think it should be a requirement to do a blurb. I've thought about adding that just because I have wanted to get more like participation on the blurb front. But then again, like, do we need 30 blurbs? Like, because how much would that have helped the list this past year? Because you would just get like 30 different people talking about Bryan Danielson.
Well, that's funny you say that.
Yeah, that is funny.
Yeah, and they're only talking about 1 year.
That's funny.
No, I like. I don't want to do anything. I mean, it's obviously not my list at all, but that would get less people involved.
Yeah, I think that would actively deter people from
Some people are shy. Yeah.
actually submitting a list, to be honest. If like there was a number one blurb requirement, even if the blurb was like you could just write a sentence, which is what like Chris will ask for. Like Chris is like, you can write a sentence for your blurb, and I think that would deter some people.
And I think like one of the biggest things is we do have like an international contingent of voters. Like people who definitely English is not their first language.
Yeah.
And like we have voters from Mexico, Portugal,
Canada.
Yeah. And so like if like the point of the question was for variety's sake, I think like something like that could actually deter some of the variety.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Also, it's already a tough ask for like a random person to come across something and be like, oh, I have to do 50 or 100 things in this Google form. But then if they got to the last one and then the last one was like, now write what you like about this wrestler, I could just see somebody going, oh, fuck this, and completely toss it. And I guess the point is like, we're wanting more participation and not less. And I think it would deter a lot of people. But also, I think it'd be more interesting if we did force a blurb. I think we should force a blurb at 100 and not 1.
Oh, I actually like that.
I think that'd be up because everybody uses 100 as a vanity spot. So I think it'd be very funny to hear everybody's reasonings for their vanity pick. But yeah, that's
an idea.
Yeah, so I don't know. Hey, maybe next year is just VP 100. Tell us your 100th wrestler of the year. Probably takes a lot of work off of Chris's plate. All the ballots are just one wrestler.
It would.
Something to think about. Well, that's the wacky line. Tune in next week for more hot questions and even hotter answers.
And again, you can email your questions to violentpeopleorg@gmail.com.
Yes. And there
Don't
may
publicly post them in the Discord, maybe. Or maybe do that. Who cares?
And there may be another way you can send questions coming in.
I have no idea either.
Wait, are you?
He wants to set up a voicemail.
Oh,
Okay.
I got you guys.
Yes.
Hey,
Thanks.
hey, it's the voicemail. The whole reason we called
The
the
wacky
segment
line.
the
That's
wacky
the-
line.
That's the line. It's not the wacky.
I was going
letter.
to tell people they have to send us voice. So.
Yeah, I mean that too. I mean, what's the difference?
I thought he was playing coy about like you can send questions on Twitter or something. We'll collect those too.
It's a real cool thing to do.
Hey, send questions to Sam on Twitter at Concrete1992.
I don't want this shit.
He's back.
I'm
Yeah,
back,
he's back.
baby. Are we wrapping this up? Is that an episode? Episode 1 in the can?
I think it
I
feels
think
successful.
that's episode 1 in the can.
All right. Plug times?
Yeah, hey, start us off.
All right. You can follow me on Twitter at Concrete1992. Dan, how about you?
You can find me there at Dan Rice VP.
Chris?
You can find me at Fight Haskin.
Tanner, I've given you all the other plugs since you don't have it.
Sure. Make sure you're visiting violentpeople.co every fucking day of the week. It helps us out tremendously. Go listen to the other podcasts. Chris, Dan, Bucky, and I just did part 1 of a 2-part IWA Mid-South draft on Muscle Orchestra. Go check that out. QNTR are talking about All Yeet Jey Uso. Go check that out. Sam may watch wrestling again, and Talking Tourneys may come back. Who knows? We have a ton of stuff in the canon that we'll be able to start sharing next week. And if you want to hear more of my thoughts, go follow at AYCH Podcast on Twitter.
All right. You can follow Violent People on Twitter at Violent_people. There. I'm not sure if it was said out loud, but go hit our links on Twitter. You can go join our Discord from there. 160 people so far, I think. Something like that.
Actually, 166 as of right now.
Bananas.
Yep.
It has been really awesome to see so many people in there, and we have folks young and old. So it has been also nice to just remove some of the conversation around the youngsters not giving a shit about different forms of wrestling, which has been proven to be, once again, categorically untrue. And I say that as now someone that has kind of aged out of that group. So, thank you all for listening to episode 1 of Valley People Radio.